So I've been playing around, can we combine the older and the modern genetics? So this is Holdfast crossed with Maluka. Maluka is a modern variety, quite strong gluten, but Holdfast is even stronger because of course it was bred to compete with Canadian imports. So Maluka Holdfast is taller than a modern wheat variety, just over 1 metre, but shorter than the Landraces. Reasonably stiff, so no sign of lodging yet here, and produces very, very strong flour. And this is Skyfall, modern variety, crossed with Old Hoary, the Landrace, or Rough Chaff White. And this is much shorter than the Old Hoary, just over 1 metre, but significantly taller than any modern variety. Some nice big ears, and you can see I've kept this diverse, so I've done a very wide cross and haven't really done much selection, just letting it do what it wants. An important point about the Landraces is their genetics don't feature in any modern British wheat varieties, because PBI, they forgot almost about the higher quality Landraces. So when they wanted to restore quality to the Squareheads material, they used the Canadian, the Red Fife, rather than things like Red Lammas and Old Hoary, which had been replaced by the Squareheads material. So if we then put that genetics back into modern varieties, we end up with something that looks a bit like this, perhaps more useful for low input or organic growing. And this is Zytelli Dolly, a Georgian landrace that I've crossed to Maluka. And when you bring in such different genetics from outside the gene pool of modern wheat, then you can really start to mix things up a bit. So the Zytelli Dolly crosses, massive amount of variation. So a normal breeder would select out the best lines from this and grow them out to purify them up, go through several generations. Each generation becomes 50% less heterozygous, so eventually end up with something that will grow true. I'm doing the opposite. I've got 14 of these different Landrace crossed with modern, or Holdfast crossed with modern, or Holdfast crossed with Landrace. So the 3 different eras of wheat: the Landrace from the pre-late 19th century, Holdfast from the mid-20th century, and then the modern varieties. And rather than trying to breed pure lines, I've been inspired by the late Martin Wolf with his Wakelins YQ population. So I put 14 of these all together. So by my reckoning, that could be over 40,000 genotypes, because a normal breeder will want to have about 3,000 in the F2 generation to make sure that they've got as much of the genetic diversity from a cross as possible. So if you've got 14 F2 populations all mixed together, that could be up to 42,000 different genotypes. Even if I'm wrong, it's still quite a lot. So Skyfall crossed with Old Hoary, and this is Skyfall crossed with Holdfast. This is a lighter patch of the field, so it's looking a bit more drought stressed. And then behind it, the taller stuff, this is 4 different crosses, all with Red Lammas. So Red Lammas either crossed with Holdfast or with Illustrious, which is a modern variety, or Old Kent Red, which is a type of Red Lammas, again crossed with Illustrious or Holdfast. So again, you can see a lot of variation between the different ears. Siskin, modern variety, crossed with Orange Devon Blue Rough Chaff, which is a landrace from Devon, obviously. And then behind it we have 2 crosses combined, because I didn't have enough of either of them, which was Holdfast crossed with Orange Devon Blue, and Holdfast crossed with Ngumri S70.